So you've been dabbling a little bit with the idea of upgrading to a newer vehicle, maybe a nice pre-owned crossover SUV, maybe an EV, maybe a Tesla? Well, let's talk about it. I'm Joe from Way Scarff Ford, and today we're talking about this 2023 Tesla Model Y, long-range all-wheel drive. What an amazing battery electric vehicle. Let's dive in. So when the Model Ys first came out, they were pretty much in luxury car territory. On the pre-owned market, and for a little while in the new market, they were selling for $60,000, $70,000. Fast forward 5 years later, into 2025, on the pre-owned market, the Tesla Model Y, there are plenty available, and they're at a much more affordable price point. Depending on the mileage in the year, you can find them in the $20,000 to $30,000 price range, and you can find them in the $30,000 to $40,000 price range. And there are a lot of compelling reasons for you to consider a battery electric vehicle for your next vehicle. For one, is maintenance. When we think about switching to a battery electric vehicle, we often think about, oh, how much money we're gonna save on gas since we can charge our car with electricity, which is very true, especially us here in the Pacific Northwest. Since we get a lot of our energy from hydroelectric, we have some of the cheapest utility rates in the whole country, so we can benefit even more from an EV. And on top of that, I'm sure if you pumped your gas lately, we notice that we have pretty high gas prices, sometimes $1 a gallon more than what other people pay in the rest of the country, because we have higher gas taxes. So even more so, we can benefit from EV ownership. But the other thing that people don't always think about is maintenance. When you have an internal combustion vehicle, you have thousands and thousands of moving parts. An internal combustion engine, it needs a lot more maintenance, needs a lot more service, and generally a lot more repairs than a battery electric vehicle. This Tesla, or most EVs in general, aside from Teslas, only have about dozens of moving parts. So the technology it takes to build an EV is not easy. The battery technology, the computers, the synergy of the whole vehicle. But once you get that down, really, battery and electric motor is fairly simple, kind of like a power drill. It's all like an appliance pretty much. There's no oil changes, no complex emission control systems, no turbocharging, no supercharging, no hybrid system where you're conjoining a gas engine and an electric powertrain together, making it much more complicated. So you're gonna save a lot of money on maintenance when you switch to an EV, a Tesla or pretty much any other EV. With regenerative braking, that's gonna save on brake life. So with regenerative braking, what happens is when you slow down, they will reverse the polarity of the electric motors, turning them into generators. So normally all that energy you'd lose through braking, you can recapture that kinetic energy and put it back in the batteries with regenerative braking. They reverse the polarity of the electric motors, turning them into generators. So it's not uncommon for brakes to last well over 100,000 miles on EVs, and brakes can be quite expensive. For front and rear brakes in just a regular car, not a high-end car, it can be even more expensive. You could look at a couple $1,000s just for brakes. So that's a big maintenance item that you're likely not gonna have to worry about anytime soon with EV ownership. So the Model Y is a compact, but because of its electric powertrain, it allows for a clean sheet design, allowing for more interior space than you'd normally find in a comparable gas-powered crossover SUV of the same size. I'm 6'2", I got a lot of headroom, a lot of legroom, even more impressive in the back, I'll show you shortly. This thing has a ton of space for its size. Very comfortable supportive seats. We have heated front and rear seats, heated steering wheel. We have a wireless charging pad right here. Lots of storage, everywhere you look there's storage. Lots of nice accessories, great color combination. So let's take a look at this screen here. So this is the core of operating a Tesla, and sometimes people will ridicule Teslas for having all this functionality in the screen. Some people prefer hard buttons and knobs, but when you have hard buttons and knobs, they're there forever. You can't change them. There's no changing it. This screen is infinitely reconfigurable. Look at, there's a software update now. Tesla is constantly pushing out software updates, improving security, improving functionality, improving safety. I mean, all these updates, it seems like Tesla has updates coming out every month. And a lot of times they can fix things. A lot of recalls, where normally you'd have to bring your vehicle into a dealership to get it repaired. A lot of recalls that come up on Teslas, they can just get fixed with an over-the-air update. So you just get an update, you connect it to your Wi-Fi or your house, boom, it downloads the update, recall is fixed, no going to a dealership. So this screen is the core of the functionality for this vehicle, and it's infinitely reconfigurable. If you have hard buttons and knobs, like I said, they're there forever. the screen is constantly evolving, it's changing, they're adding features, they're constantly adding apps. Supposedly, actually, Grok is going to be added to Tesla. Rumor has it, this is no guarantee, but that's a point where you actually can have like a relationship with your car via premium connectivity, which is $10 a month, where you basically have a cell phone data beamed to the vehicle, LTE data beamed to the vehicle. You can stream music, you can stream movies. Obviously, you can't stream movies while you're driving, but with Grok, you can ask questions. It can help you. It's like being a personal assistant, and maybe if you're bored, you can have a conversation with it. You can play word games. The thought process when this vehicle was first built in 2023, but now in 2025, we're seeing far more features come out. We have a parking camera, and then we have the 360 dash cam. So this is fantastic. This actually helped recently. I was on my way to work, and there was an accident right in front of me, so I was able to hit the dash cam button, and that saved a clip. So you basically set up a data drive in the USB port in the glove compartment, and basically it's constantly recording data. This has cameras all the way around it, on the front, the back, the sides, so it's constantly recording data. So if you get an accident, you witness an accident like I did, you have recordings of it. Likewise, you have Sentry mode, so when the vehicle's parked, if the vehicle's vandalized, if people are around your car, the car will notify you. You can pull up cameras and see what's going on from your phone. There's an instance where I had my car parked, and my car wasn't damaged, but someone next to me had a hit and run. Someone sideswiped their brand new Subaru WRX and took off, and the person came out and noticed I had a Tesla and asked me if I could check my dash cam, and lo and behold, it recorded it. So I got all the information of that person. He's very grateful, unfortunately, about that hit and run, but at least he has some recourse and maybe redeeming the cost of the repairs to fix it. Premium connectivity, you get these amazing Google Maps. You got live traffic updates. And one of Tesla's ace in the holes is their amazing supercharging network. If we hit this lightning bolt right up here, this pulls up all the nearby superchargers. You can see within 10 miles, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 superchargers. They're amazing. You can get a charge in about 20 minutes. But sometimes, like I've just popped into the supercharger just for 5 minutes just to get me over the hump, so I just have enough juice to make it home where I can, charge at my house. So you don't need a charge for 20 minutes, 40 minutes at a supercharger. Generally, they're pretty quick, and you can get you can charge to 80% in about 20 minutes. But on top of that, Tesla has this amazing trip planner. So we only have 30% range, not that much range. But for instance, if I wanted to drive across this great state of Washington to Spokane, 226 miles away, the Tesla trip planner will figure it out for me. A lot of other people aren't going to have all this information. Look, it tells me where to charge for, how long to charge for, how much range I'll have when I get to the charger, how much range I'll have when I get to the destination. So this takes all the range anxiety out of owning an EV. Tesla's got your back. It's not going to send you somewhere unless there's charging. It'll tell you there's no charging available if there's some sort of destination you can't make it to, and it'd be pretty hard. There are so many superchargers in North America, you can pretty much drive anywhere in the United States and you'll have supercharging. And the trip planner is very complex. It takes into consideration outside temperature, outside ambient temperature, wind speed, elevation, tire pressure, so it has a very accurate range estimate when you get to your destination. And it also makes the best use of your time. The way battery chemistry works, it doesn't charge consistently for the whole time. The fuller the battery gets, the slower the rate of charge will go. So it might not have you charge for 20 minutes at a supercharger, because as the battery gets fuller, it's going to start slowing down. So to make best use of your time, it's only going to have you charged for 9 minutes. And then when you go close to this supercharger in Moses Lake, it'll have you charged for another 7 minutes. Little things like that could shave 5 or 10 minutes off your charging or off your trip in general. And maybe there's some people out there, there's some warriors, some hardcore people with some iron butts and iron bladders that would want to do this whole 282 mile drive 4 hours without getting out. But after a couple hours, I want to get out and stretch my legs. The Tesla superchargers are usually strategically placed by malls, places to eat, gas stations. Maybe you want to let your dog out for a little wee-wee. And that's a great segue. We have dog mode. So if we pull up the climate settings here, so you can see we have dog mode, camp mode, So dog mode, you put on dog mode, it'll have a little display of a dog here and say, don't worry, my owner will return soon. It's a comfortable 70 degrees in here. So that's fantastic. It's camp mode. You can camp in this. You can camp in the Y. When you fold down the seats and stuff, there's actually a lot of space for camping. And camp mode, what we'll do is it'll just keep the climate control system on. It'll power up the infotainment system so you can watch movies and stuff, and it will shut up other systems to make the best use of energy. And the camp mode actually uses very little energy. It's quite amazing how long you can go on camp mode on the Model Y. There's some other cool stuff about the climate control system. See this biohazard mode? This isn't a gimmick. When you put on biohazard mode, what it's doing now, it's pressurizing the air inside the interior. So the only way air can come into the vehicle is through this giant HEPA filter in the front of the vehicle. This HEPA filter can remove allergens, pollutants, harmful things to make the air in the vehicle far much safer. People during the forest fires actually sought refuge in their Teslas with that dirty, nasty, with that toxic air, and they sought refuge in their Teslas, and the biohazard mode helped protect them. They've done tests with the biohazard mode. It's not a gimmick, it works. The HEPA filter in this Tesla is probably about 10 times bigger than the next biggest HEPA filter you'll find in any other vehicle. There's nothing else like it on the road. Very unique product. So even if you have allergies, you have really bad hay fever and stuff like that, having that big HEPA filter, the biodefense mode, to keep pollen out of the interior, it'll be fantastic. And it just doesn't clean the air coming in, it will also continuously clean the air inside the vehicle as well. If you like music, this is a fantastic audio system. Elon Musk, love him or hate him, pretty controversial these days. He's an audiophile, so at least, if you don't like Elon, at least you'll love the audio system that you have inside your Tesla. And there are Elon haters out there that still drive Teslas. You can see the bumper stickers. I'm not going to get into it. I don't get into politics, obviously, in these videos. I like these products very much. I own a Tesla. I also own a Ford. I love gas cars. I love EVs, but after commuting and experiencing an EV for the last 3.5 years, it's hard for me to go back for everyday transportation. I like my my van. It has its purposes and stuff for other things, but for daily driving, it is fantastic. So you have arcade mode, so you can play video games. Great to pass time away while you're supercharging. We have the toy box. We have silly things like the whoopee cushion. You can play a light show. You have a boom box where you can talk through the horn, change the sound of the horn. You have a multi-track recorder. We have theater where you can watch movies, Netflix, Hulu. Obviously you can't do this while you're driving. There's in-car karaoke. You can do that while you're driving. That's pretty fun. So going over here, this is a Model Y long-range dual motor. They've made different versions of the Model Y. They've made like a standard range with a smaller battery pack. This has a large battery pack. So this has a fully charged range of a little over 300 miles, 16,312 miles, really low miles. This has the full self-driving computer 3. There's also a self-driving computer 4 out. That's a little bit better. I have full self-driving my Tesla. I use the computer 3, it works great. This one does not have full self-driving. If you want to try full self-driving, a lot of times Tesla will give you a month trial when you become a new owner and you add a vehicle to your Tesla account. They'll give you like a month trial for FSD. Or you can subscribe to it for $99 a month, or just buy it for $8,000. I use full self-driving every day, and pretty much for the last 3 years. 3 years ago, it was kind of wonky. I mean, it wasn't for everybody. Today, it's pretty much for everybody. It still requires you to pay attention. There's a camera right here, so it'll make sure you're keeping your eye on the road. If you mess with the screen too much, you start looking off into the horizon, it will warn you, hey, pay attention. But the majority of my commute, I have my hands on my lap. I don't even have to put my hands on the steering wheel. The car's making left and right hand turns. It's merging on the highway, getting on ramps, off ramps. If a car's going too slow, it'll change lanes and go around it. It works amazing, and Tesla's constantly updating the system, so it's getting better and better and better. And a couple of years from now, who knows how much better it will be. And maybe it will be better than a human driver, and maybe it's not guaranteed. You won't have to supervise it. It can just supervise itself. Tesla's getting there right now. As we speak, Tesla is rolling out their Cybercab trials in Austin, Texas. So there are newer Model Ys with the newer full self-driving computer technology actually driving around without a driver in the driver's seat. They have a safety person in the passenger seat ready to hit a kill switch in case, there's a crazy scenario while they test these systems out, but they're able to drive passengers right now, paid passengers, without anyone at the steering wheel. And for the first time, a brand new Model Y was built in the Gigafactory in Austin, and it drove itself off the factory floor and delivered itself to its new owner, I think 18 miles away in Austin, Texas, with no supervision at all. That's pretty amazing. So it drove itself out of the factory and right to the new owner's house. That's pretty amazing stuff. That's showing you the level of technological advancement we're seeing with Tesla. There's really no other vehicle like this. This car is like a supercomputer on wheels. And I could go another hour. I know it's already been like 20 minutes already. I could go another hour talking about this vehicle. Just there's so much to it. And not just because it's an EV, even if this is a gas car or a hybrid, aside from it being an EV and a hybrid, all this cool stuff, the screen, the autopilot, the full self-driving, the dash cameras, all this cool stuff makes this thing special and pretty much unlike any other car on the road. No wonder why the Tesla Model Y has been the best-selling vehicle of any type in the whole entire world for 2023, 2024, and maybe 2025. It looks like it's going to happen. I'm starting to see more and more of those new redesigned Model Ys on the road. Those are really nice too, but if they're out of your price range, you're not crazy about the new styling, a nice slightly used Model Y like this is a great proposition. No engine up here. We have a frunk. This gives you more storage space. Lots of storage, lots of space. Like I said, normally you have an engine here, but we got more space. It's also a safety feature. You have all this space here to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. 60% larger crumple zone than a gas car, since there's no engine there. This is one of the safest vehicles on the road. Don't take my word for it. Do some reviews. When the NHTSA did their crash testing on the Model Y when it first came out, one of the lowest rollover risks out of any EV, one of the lowest rollover risks out of any SUV, one of the safest crossover SUVs on the road. So there are different drivetrain Model Ys available. There's a rear-wheel drive and a dual motor all-wheel drive. This is a dual motor, so it has a motor in the front, motor in the back, making it all-wheel drive. It's also like having two engines. This thing is absolutely a hoot to drive. This thing is performance car fast, and with the weight of the battery so low, you have all the weight so low, it's a low center of gravity, it keeps this thing glued to the road. It has amazing handling, very low body roll, and the weight of the batteries being so low, it's like a keel, it's like an anchor keeping this thing planted to the ground. That's why it has such a low rollover risk. You have this huge glass roof panel that allows lots of natural light inside. There are some inserts you can buy from Tesla or on Amazon. They pop right in here. They're collapsible, so you can stow them like in the frunk, and they'll help cut down on the sun. Sometimes people actually also will tint this top window, but make sure you have a company that is experienced at tinting these Teslas. There are tint companies that are not experienced at tinting Teslas, and they can crack the glass. And it can be very expensive. It could be like $1,400 to replace this top glass. It's not cheap. I'm 6'2", so it's a little bit hot out. I'm a little bit sweaty, but I apologize. I'm 6'2". Look how much headroom I have. Look how much space I have, legroom. So much space for a compact vehicle. It is quite spacious. Going towards the rear, we have a nice cargo area cover. Of course, you can fold down those seats for more cargo space. Nice cargo area protector. Then we have more storage under here, since there's no gas tank or exhaust system. Then you also have a storage pocket on that side. Kind of hard to see, it's dark out, but it goes down pretty deep. And then we have another one on this side, about equally as deep. Well, there you have it. Beautiful example of a 2023 Model Y. If you're thinking about getting an EV, if you're thinking about getting a crossover, a Model Y is a great choice. It's been a great choice for a lot of people, hence it being the best-selling, not EV, best-selling vehicle of any type in the whole entire world for 2023, 2024, and like I said, maybe 2025. We're Way Scarff Ford. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus, and a very wide variety of pre-owned vehicles.